Hello, YouTube. Today I will be doing a story my brother made me do. Yeah.
Say hi.
The story of the Wraith. Syrian. Me and Zanny Slave had a talk a few nights ago. Many people don't know the origins of the Wraith or its long history. I don't like to brag about past exploits, but Zammy suggested it might be inspiring. If the Wraith does die, it can't hurt. So hey, why not? There was a time when I was just a nobody. Ever since I started using computers, I got into fights left and right on the internet. I was usually banned from every forum I set foot on for my opinions. I used to mod games. I can host WoW servers. I can make levels and maps for any game on the Quake 3 engine. I do graphic arts, etc. I was those. It was those kind of communities. 5 years ago, the Wraith started an FPS game known as Jedi Academy. The game I'm currently modding 2 years before, even before the game existed. I was getting bossed around and banned from the communities that used its predecessor game. It is a first-person shooter game, but its community, which is full of great geeks, turned it into their own role-playing game. On any server, you get kicked, banned, abused for killing other players. People who did this were known as lamers. I was one of the worst that had ever played the game. I had become fed up and I decided to be the villain. And this society could not if this society could not accept me. I used proxies so I was impossible to ban. In game I was extremely hard to kill, and I killed for pleasure. Just hearing this adolescent whines amused me. I became so good at it, I befriended other lamers, and eventually I put a system rewarding people with my tactics, so it's getting people to join. People hated the Wraith at big time, though we would amount to nothing. But soon we grew. I used numerous guerrilla tactics. I wouldn't attack with brute force. I would I like to mislead all these communities. I would set up fake forums, fake race plans to distract them or mislead them. I sometimes would even fake the clan's death and throw them totally off guard and strike from behind. Before we even had hackers, we struck out forms of old-fashioned spam techniques and used numbers. 1, 2, 3. I ordered the rape then to fill the existing threads up with porno and disturbing images. Around numbers at the time, the moderators and admins did not have the time to individually clean each thread, and most of the forums lack the feature to delete all posts made by a user. So this tactic would force them to either shut down the boards for a while or wipe the entire forums completely. We struck at any clan that opposed us. We never did it for controller power. We did it for fun. And these people were so arrogant. Soon, real hackers joined in wanting a piece of the mayhem we were causing. Soon we would crash servers themselves, and our crashing programs had looping mechanisms on them. So once the server restarted, it would automatically crash once again. We would keep entire servers down for weeks. Every time we connected to a server, we would threaten them if they ban, kick, or abuse us. We would loop, crash them, and destroy their farms. There were a few people who fought back, but they quickly were eliminated. We would use them as an example to others. People literally let us terrorize their servers and kill their crops. We would pillage their villages. Soon every clan leader was at my feast. I used the opportunity to make more rapes and search spies. And this time, the clans tried to combine forces to take us out. But like I said, I never used direct methods of war. I used cunning plans that were totally unpredictable and fun. Eventually, we had nearly the entire Lugermod community as is known at our knees. They called it now the Lulz were no more. People were no longer whining. The Wraith had become a part of everything. We would join their server and be like,
Oh, Wraith! Yay! Let them do it. Do their thing. Yawn.
there was no more fun and all of the other players left the game because of us. We made such an effing impact that even the developers that made the game heard word of us. I started out as some nobody player who's a total outcast to a total conqueror. And from the Wraith, other clans like us spawned and wreaked havoc as well. And servers will not ban Wraith out of fear. Many people took advantage of this. People would impersonate Wraiths and leave at me to freely terrorize. We then left the game to find a new source of fun. The importers continued to keep our legacy, though. When we left, there was a huge power vacuum left by us. Now the minor clans tried to claim the void as their own, and the game fell into a dark age. Okay, here's my comment right now. My comment is, you're pilgrims, aren't you? What was left of the game, though, we had killed off 3/5. That's a big number of what it used to be. It went from being a vast community to maybe 100 players, perhaps even less. When we left JKA, we sought other sources. Members came and went, and we tried several other games, but we could never get our pleasures as they were dull. And periodically, we would return to JKA to relive those good old days, but it was dull as well. We would also pick up new members through our periodic returns. However, around the time of our second year, I found a new source. Adolescent teen preppies. They were all over the site called MySpace. Back then, MySpace was a new website. Now everyone had been wronged by preppies, the typical popular stereotype. They were just like the people on JKA, however they far outnumbered me and the Wraith. So I turned my attention to their source of power and influence, MTV. The current trend was a horrible reality show called Laguna Beach. It is a show where these rich kids from OC, California biatch about their superficial problems and fake dramas, totally disregarding the fact that there are children in Africa going blind from vitamin A and all our country could care about was these little shits. Oh, sorry about this. Kind of off my place, YouTube. It's worse than shits. So I made them my target. I began experimenting with MySpace and recruiting others. That's totally proper grammar there. Does MySpace has a period, then it has an A, but it's not capital, and it's not even full sentence. Recently, I met a hacker named X2Jax, who came to be my friend later on. He likes to wake me up with phone calls these days, usually drunk, but that's nothing new. He gave me an embedded script that plays sound that is hidden and cannot be turned off. Not to mention it loops! XDX was using it to annoy people. However, I had greater plans for it. I took sounds off of beta and made them into a spam script. I would spam comments with the script, and overload of buffering sounds would literally crash the browser of anyone that viewed the page. I turned something so simple into a weapon. I would test this by subtly and fake profiles to get added to the pages people I usually deny, like, and deploy the script. Before phishing I used I used to use MySpace to destroy MySpaces. For entire MySpace groups that upload offensive images, usually porn, into group pictures, and then use a proxy account to report the group as offensive. Sometimes, even in the worst case, MySpace would delete the entire group and even sometimes the profiles associated with it. Later on, I caught the attention of a username of the laughing who even used hack forms. He was impressed with what I was doing, despite not being anywhere close to a hacker or scripter. I'm so better than him. He ran a group called Derp Derp Derp, which was Derp 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 the Laughing Man Clanner, which in the end he admitted was script kiddies doing his bidding. TLM or DXE as he called himself was an ACE scripter. He can destroy sites by cookie stealing. Nom nom nom. XSS, you name it. He also had a possessive trait, a trait I really admire, and he encourages others to use it. It's called honesty. Sorry, YouTube. Gotta put back my awesome song. I trade all. It's called honesty. Even though we were villains, the Wraith was a deep brotherhood, especially around the time you're warring with MTV with the established I will continue. DXC provided us with a method of MySpace phishing. The guy was so ingenious he came up with a method of adding yourself to someone's friend list. Not to mention he had a script that redirects pages to fish page, which pulled over an untold number of people. It was so effective I got over 1,000 passwords overnight. Continue to get more. I did not waste this opportunity. I used it to break in numerous celebrity accounts undetected. It was like absolute power! It was addicting as ecstasy. I could see into other people's private lives, not just one or two people, but on a scale of 1,000 people. I eventually gave up this power up because I was seeing other people's very secret information. And many of these people I didn't know. Many of these MySpace passwords were the same as their email accounts. Many people were even foolish to use their college and school emails as their MySpace login. If the account contained credit card information, bank accounts, etc., I left it alone. I am a wraith, not a petty thief. And I ordered any wraith who came in contact with this stuff to do the same. Yes, there are people who would screw with this stuff for laughs, but this was way too far for me. We are warriors, not cowards! But before I gave this up, I led a campaign, mass destruction. I struck all the cast members of Laguna Beach, one of the more notable raids within MySpace. Eventually fixed a friend's exploit, so I lured one of the cast members, his name was Dieter, to a rigged page, which would redirect to a fish page by defacing all of his pictures and then trolling his comments. When he went to my page to report me, he was caught in my web. He entered his password. I waited for him to go offline before striking. I began to delete all of his blog, and then I planted the infamous rape flag with your insignia of fear on his page and declared the page had now been hacked. By the rape, we put our message statement that Americans are brainwashed. I made a bold announcement announcing we are the rape. I also changed his password to lock him out temporarily, giving him enough time for all of his fans and ignorant people to fall for my best trick of all. That's right, all of us enraged fans outraged at my takeover over where commenting and failing in the fish page was like an enormous black hole, just sucking in passwords and usernames. A few smart people caught on, but I deleted their warning quickly, and which by the time a good number of people figured this out, I had to end this show.